Hey everyone, and a very warm welcome to this explainer. I am Mr. Hussein, meal expert at PMCC Gilgit-Baltistan, and I am absolutely thrilled to be your guide today. In the world of monitoring, evaluation, accountability, and learning, or meal, the quality of our data is literally dependent on who we choose to listen to. But what happens when scientific, textbook conditions just aren't possible out in the field? Well, today, we're going to master a really crucial professional skill, non-probability sampling techniques. Specifically, we'll be looking closely at maximum variation and deviant case sampling. These are incredibly powerful tools for field researchers, evaluators, and students who really need to understand the complex realities on the ground.
Okay, let's dive into this. Our agenda today covers sampling basics, understanding probability sampling, maximum variation sampling, deviant case sampling, comparing the methods, and finally, our key takeaways. All right, starting with Section 1, Sampling Basics, the foundations of field research. Before we can really appreciate the specialized tools, we have to understand the foundational divide in research. We essentially have two main families of sampling here. On one side, we have probability sampling. Think of this as the scientific gold standard. The ultimate goal is to create a smaller, perfect mirror image of a much larger population. It's designed to be highly representative. But let's be real, on the other side, we have non-probability sampling. While that scientific approach is ideal, it just isn't always possible. Non-probability sampling relies on educated guesses and strategic selections. It's the practical, problem-solving approach we use for complex meal scenarios where creating that perfect mirror image is, well, simply impossible due to the messy realities of the field. Moving right along to Section 2, Understanding Probability Sampling, the Scientific Ideal. So let's look a bit closer at the rigorous scientific side of sampling. Believe it or not, getting a true probability sample in fieldwork is incredibly rare. For a sample to be a true probability sample, meaning it allows us to know our exact margin of error, like say 3 or 4%, and gives us high confidence levels, it has to strictly adhere to 3 principles. First, you must have a master list of every possible respondent or client. You need a very accurate idea of their total number and exactly how to locate them. Second, every single person in that sampling frame must have an absolutely equal chance of being selected. And third, you have to use a random lottery-type process for the actual selection, just to minimize any selection bias. When you follow these 3 strict rules, your sample becomes a true microcosm of the wider population. But here is where reality really hits the methodology. Think about a population like the homeless in a large city. This is a brilliant example of our limitation. It is completely, literally impossible to identify and create a master list of every single homeless person, right? Because that first principle, the master list, is broken, probability sampling is totally off the table. Instead, researchers and meal professionals are forced to use non-probability sampling procedures to arrive at a highly educated guess about that population's needs and problems. When the scientific ideal fails us in the field, we need strategic alternatives. Which brings us to Section 3, Maximum Variation Sampling, finding patterns across extremes. Now, what's really interesting here is how we cut through the noise of diverse populations. Maximum variation sampling happens when an evaluator deliberately goes looking for extremes at either end of a spectrum. You aren't looking for the average person here, you're looking for the outliers. But here is the real genius of this method. You aren't looking at extremes just to see how different they are. No, the entire idea is to look for some pattern or theme that cuts across the variable you're studying. You want to see if there's a shared problem or a common truth that individuals in both extreme groups will actually mention. Let's walk through a practical example directly from an outpatient mental health clinic. Imagine you're evaluating client satisfaction. If you use maximum variation sampling, your first step is to contact clients who dropped out after just one single treatment episode. So that's one extreme. Your second step is to contact the clients who've had the absolute highest number of sessions, the completely opposite extreme. Step 3 is the analysis. What do these two radically different groups actually agree on? If both the person who quit immediately and the person who stayed for years complain that the paperwork is an absolute nightmare, well, you've just identified a massive systemic problem. By looking at the extremes, you've found the shared reality.
Let's move to Section 4 and see how this builds. Deviant case sampling. Learning from successes and failures.
Building directly on that idea of extremes, deviant case sampling, which you'll also hear called extreme case sampling, is when the evaluator again deliberately chooses cases at both ends of the spectrum. However, the focus here is generally on performance or outcomes. For instance, an evaluator might purposefully select several cases where clients of an agency have been amazingly, spectacularly successful. Then, they'll deliberately choose cases where clients have experienced total treatment failures. You're isolating the absolute best and the absolute worst outcomes in your development project or client study. The core philosophy of this approach is perfectly captured by this thought. The goal is to see what worked and why for the successful clients and to try and determine why treatment didn't work for the unsuccessful ones. It's essentially a diagnostic tool. You aren't looking for what these groups have in common. Actually, it's the exact opposite. You're looking to isolate the precise variables that caused success in one group and failure in the other.
So, Section 5, comparing the methods, choosing the right tool. Now, because these two sound so incredibly similar on the surface, this comparison is absolutely vital for your fieldwork. With maximum variation, your goal is to find common problems or themes across a wide variable range. You look at the extremes to find the shared middle ground, like the clinic patients with 1 session versus 50 sessions, both complaining about the exact same paperwork. But with deviant case sampling, your goal is to determine the underlying causes of absolute success versus absolute failure. You look at the extremes to find the contrasting factors, like why did this intervention save one village's crops but completely fail in the neighboring village? Simply put, maximum variation looks for shared realities, deviant case looks for causal differences. All right, let's wrap this up with Section 6, Key Takeaways and Conclusion, Applying Meal Methodologies. Let's bring the whole shebang together so you have real, actionable insights for your next evaluation. Here are your 4 major takeaways. First, use probability sampling when you have a master list and you absolutely need statistical accuracy and known margins of error, like in political polling. Second, turn to non-probability sampling when you're dealing with elusive, unlisted populations where scientific sampling is just plain impossible. Third, deploy maximum variation sampling when your objective is to uncover shared themes or systemic issues across a widely diverse user base. And fourth, utilize deviant case sampling when your project needs to uncover the specific factors driving incredible successes or concerning failures. Remember, choosing the right tool completely dictates the quality of your learning. Which leaves us with the ultimate question: which sampling method will uncover the hidden truth in your next MEL project? Think really carefully about your population, your constraints, and what exactly you are trying to learn. Thank you so much for joining me today for this tutorial. Again, I'm Mr. Hussein, MEL expert at PMCC Gilgit-Baltistan. If you found this explainer helpful for your research or studies, please do like, share, subscribe, and follow our channel for more deep dives into monitoring, evaluation, accountability, and learning. Until next time, keep asking the right questions and happy researching.